All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a massive shift in how we all socialize. It's a classic story, really. You've got this centuries-old industry, alcohol, and now there's a powerful new challenger that's shaking up, well, pretty much everything. So let's get into the battle for happy hour. To really get our heads around this huge trend, we're going to start small. We're going to zoom in on the story of one single craft distillery that made an announcement that, honestly, nobody saw coming.
You read this, and it just sounds nice, right? It's the kind of thing you'd expect to hear from a successful local business. It paints this warm, familiar picture of a community hub, a place to go and enjoy some great spirits. But that picture is about to change. Big time.
And here is the twist. Heritage just announced they're shutting down those very tasting rooms. And one of the biggest reasons they gave? A competitor that, a little over a decade ago, wasn't even on the legal map: cannabis. Now, to get this, you have to understand where this is all happening. Heritage is based in Washington and Oregon. Why does that matter? Because those were two of the very first states to make recreational cannabis legal. So you could say they're kind of the canary in the coal mine for the whole country. What's happening to them right now? Well, it could be a preview of what's coming for everybody else.
So look, this is way bigger than just one craft distiller. The pressure that Heritage is feeling, it's sending some serious shockwaves through the entire alcohol industry, and I mean all the way to the very top.
And this, right here, shows you the real scale of what's going on. When the CEO behind an iconic global brand like Jack Daniel's comes out and says, yeah, we're feeling pressure from cannabis, you know this isn't just some little local trend. This is a massive industry-wide shift. So, what's the move from the big guys? They're heading straight to Washington, D.C. We're talking huge names: Anheuser-Busch, Bacardi, Moet Hennessy. They're all spending real money on federal lobbying to try and influence cannabis policy. They aren't ignoring the competition. No, they're trying to shape the rules of the game. Okay, so that begs the question, what's actually driving all this? Why are people choosing a THC seltzer over a classic beer or cocktail? Well, the answer really comes down to how people see these products. You know, this is so much more than just a new product showing up on the shelf. This is a fundamental change in what people are looking for when they want to kick back and socialize. And right here, this is the heart of it. For generations, alcohol was just the default. It was the social lubricant. But now, a majority of Americans actually believe cannabis is a healthier option. That one simple perception, it's changing absolutely everything. And get ready for this, because the numbers here are pretty wild. So, among people who drink these cannabis-infused beverages, we're talking about those THC seltzers that have become so popular, a full 4 out of 5 of them say they've cut back on drinking alcohol because of it. That's 80%. But wait, it gets even more dramatic. If you dig into that number, more than 1 in 5 of those people haven't just cut back on booze, they've stopped drinking it completely. They've just swapped it out. And you can really see this trend taking off with younger generations. A recent poll found that 1 in every 3 millennial and Gen Z workers are now picking THC drinks over alcohol for their after-work hangouts. The whole idea of the traditional happy hour is literally being redefined right before our eyes. So, we've seen the pressure on the industry, and we've talked about the why behind it all. So now, let's look at where this is all going. This huge consumer shift is pushing cannabis drinks out of the specialty dispensaries and into some very, very familiar mainstream stores. And just so we're clear, this isn't some far-off prediction about the future. The mainstreaming of cannabis drinks is happening, like, right now, and probably in places you would never, ever expect. I mean, think about this. Target, one of the biggest, most recognizable retailers in the entire country, is now actually selling THC-infused drinks in some of its stores. That is a massive signal that these products are being aimed squarely at a mainstream audience, right there next to the sodas and snacks. And if Target didn't surprise you, how about this one? The VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, has actually partnered up to bring branded THC drinks to its posts all across the country. They're framing it as a potential alternative to alcohol for veterans. This isn't just about what's cool or trendy. This is a really profound cultural shift. So, after taking all of this in, what does it all mean? What's the next chapter in this battle between the old guard and this brand new challenger? So let's just recap the whole story here. It all starts small, with craft distillers feeling the heat. That pressure builds and builds, forcing the giants of the industry to the lobbying table in D.C. And this entire wave is being driven by us, The consumers, who see cannabis as a healthier choice. And the result? You're seeing THC drinks on the shelves at Target and behind the bar at the local VFW. And all of this leaves us with one final huge question. As these two industries keep fighting for our attention and our wallets, the very definition of how we relax, how we socialize, and how we celebrate is being rewritten. So the next time you hear someone say, "Hey, let's go grab a drink," what they actually mean by that might be about to change forever.